All right, today we're going to talk about related conditional statements. Easiest way to remember this is we're going to get this table in your notes, and then you're going to memorize the symbols for these related conditional statements. So we're going to start with a conditional. That's your if-then statement, right? The symbol for it is P arrow Q. P arrow Q reads if P then Q. The P represents the hypothesis and the Q represents the conclusion. So that's your symbol. The second type of statement is a converse statement. That's the converse of the conditional. The symbol is if Q then P. And what that means is that you switch the hypothesis and the conclusion. The third type of statement is an inverse statement. When you write the inverse of the conditional, you are going to negate the original hypothesis, and you're going to negate the original conclusion.
Is that squiggly sign?
Yeah.
Okay.
This reads, if not P, then not Q. If not P, then not Q. The fourth statement is called a contrapositive. Contrapositive is when you negate the converse. All right, the inverse negates the conditional. The inverse negates the original. The contrapositive negates the converse. So the symbol would be not Q. If not Q, then not P. Any questions? All right, so here's what you're going to be asked to do in the assignment today, and then in your study guide and on your quiz and on the EOC. You're going to be asked to write the converse. Let's see, write the converse, inverse, contrapositive of each conditional. So let's rewrite that for a second. Write the write the conditional, converse, inverse, and contrapositive. For the given statement. If a statement is false, List a counterexample. Okay, so let's take this statement, a hamster. Is a rodent. First statement that we're going to write is the conditional, okay? Now, I'm just going to the left of the statement, I'm just going to write the symbol for the statement. The sooner you can memorize these four symbols, and I think you guys probably can memorize them real quick. There's a pattern there, right? The sooner you can memorize these symbols, then this just becomes simple. All right? It's just about hypothesis, conclusion, conclusion, hypothesis, negate them, negate them. Okay? So, the conditional. If P, then Q. This isn't in if-then form, is it? So we're going to put it in if-then form. We're going to say that if an animal is a hamster, then what's the conclusion?
It is a rodent.
Very good. Then it is a rodent. Once you've done that work, I would identify your hypothesis and identify your conclusion. And that makes the rest, to me, very simple. Because now you're just using the symbols from the table. So we're going to write the converse, and that's when you switch the original hypothesis and conclusion. It's still going to be in if-then form. So we're going to say if an animal is a rodent, then it is a hamster. Here's our hypothesis now after the then. And our conclusion is at the beginning after the if. And back on that original statement, I forgot to determine the truth value of the statement. If an animal is a hamster, then it is a rodent. Is that true or false? True. Now the converse. If an animal is a rodent, then it is a hamster. True or false?
False.
False. Good. Counterexample. Rats are rodents. Now we're going to write the inverse of the original statement. So we're going to negate the hypothesis, then we are going to negate the conclusion. And you negate a hypothesis or conclusion by inserting the word not. So we're going to say that if an animal is not a hamster, then it is not a rodent. Okay? Negating the original hypothesis, negating the original conclusion. Now, what's the truth value of that? If an animal is not a hamster, then it is not a rodent.
False.
It's false, isn't it?
Yes.
Could you use the same counterexample?
Still
Rats, right? Yeah, good. So false. And you can write it again, or you can just arrow it down. Same reason, right? All right, and then finally the contrapositive. The contrapositive negates the converse. So we're gonna negate the conclusion, then we're gonna negate the hypothesis. If an animal is not a rodent, then it is not a hamster. True or false?
True.
It's true. Any questions about those four? So let's just tie the rest into this. Okay? Because on your tomorrow and today, and you're going to have to draw a Venn diagram. So let's go back to the original statement that you wrote. If an animal is a hamster, then it is a rodent. And I don't have much room, but I'll try to make some over here. So the Venn diagram for this original conditional statement. Remember, the hypothesis goes in the small circle. So that's going to be hamster. What was the conclusion there?
Rodent.
Rodent. Good. Remember, your hypothesis goes in the
In the small circle.
and your conclusion. Anybody have any questions about writing the related conditional statements, drawing a Venn diagram from a statement, or taking a Venn diagram and writing a statement? All right, then, your practice for today is on page 111. 10 through 17. Check the odds in the back. For the next couple days, I'm not going to be syncing any assignments to Edline, so there won't be anything there. So make sure you're checking your odds in the book, and I may collect one of these assignments one day or spot check it or something like that.
Yeah, get them.